2010 through 2018 Toyota 4runner, two-wheel drive with the 4.0 liter engine, lower oil pan gasket reseal. I'm Brian Eslick from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you step by step through the process of resealing the lower oil pan. The first thing I did was get the vehicle up in the air and get the oil draining. If you're doing this at home, you're going to use floor jacks and jack stands to get the front of the vehicle up as high as you can so you can crawl underneath. So I was changing the oil on this vehicle when I noticed the lower oil pan here is leaking. It only has a silicone gasket, so we're going to go ahead and drop this pan down and remove it. I already had the drain plug removed and I had it draining. So we're going to remove these lower skid plates or splash shields. There's just follow it around the perimeter and remove the couple 12mm bolts to get these down. I like to use impact guns to do this particular task. I'm using a Milwaukee M18 3/8 drive impact gun here, and it makes quick work of removing these shields. I will be linking up all the parts and tools that I use in this video in the description. So once you get the bolts removed, you can go ahead and lower the shield down and set it aside. Once you get the shields down, you can go ahead and drain the oil out of the oil pan, and then once it's done draining, go ahead and put the oil plug back in and tighten it up. Now we're going to start removing the bolts. There's a couple of the bolts that are kind of at an angle, or the frame is kind of in the way. So what I use is a wobbly socket with an extension like this to get to those bolts. If you don't have a wobbly socket, you can go around the back side, and above the frame you can reach up here and get to these bolts. And there's plenty of room to get like a regular ratchet even above here and remove these bolts. So I'm going to use my Milwaukee M12 impact driver here with an extension and a wobbly socket and start removing these bolts. I'm just going to go around the perimeter and remove them. I'm doing the ones kind of under the frame here first. And then once you're done with removing the ones under the frame, if you want to, you can take the wobbly socket off, and all the rest of them are a straight shot to them. And just start removing all the bolts. There's two bolts or two fasteners that have nuts on them with studs. And all the rest are going to be bolts. Once you get all the fasteners off, you can try to use a little mallet or a little hammer and kind of tap the side of the lower oil pan here. Sometimes that'll work and it'll pop free. In my case, the silicone was still too tight and it did not pop off. So what I did to get it off was use a scraper and went around the back side where I had a clean shot of it, and I stuck it between the upper oil pan and the lower oil pan, and I tapped it between the two pans. And once I got a little gap, I kind of just used the scraper here to twist and pry and pop the pan down. Now that I got the pan down, I'm going to use a razor blade and I'm going to scrape off as much of this silicone as I possibly can. Once I got the majority of the silicone scraped off, I switched over to a die grinder, and I used a roll-lock disc that had a lot of wear on it to rub it off. Those I was just showing you a good quality roll-lock disc versus an old one. I like to use the old ones because they don't dig into the aluminum pan. When you're using roll-lock discs like this, you want to keep it moving. You don't want to stay in one spot for too long. You don't want to dig or create grooves in the oil pan. Now that you got the silicone buffed off, I like to take a can of parts cleaner or spray and spray the whole thing down, including the walls of the inside of the oil pan, and let the oil drain down. The key to resealing these type of oil pans is to have it as clean as you possibly can get it. Any oil and debris in between the silicone gasket that we're going to create and the pan can be a potential leak in the future. Once you got it all sprayed down, you can go over it with a rag and wipe. I like to wipe the insides of the walls and everything down. That way that oil doesn't run down and get onto the mating surface. So when you're done, it's going to look like this. So now that we got the upper pan all cleaned off, we're going to switch over to the lower portion of the pan, and we're going to scrape off all the excess silicone there. And I'm just going to use the razor blade once again, and then we're going to wipe out all the oil and get it all cleaned up. Once you wipe it all out and get it cleaned up, then you can use the roll-lock disc and you can buff off the silicone. Once you got all the silicone removed, then I switch over to some brake clean, parts cleaner, and I wipe and thoroughly clean the inside and the outside of the pan. You know, make it as clean as I can possibly get. I also will spray the rags with the spray, and then I'll wipe the surface down to make sure it's nice and clean and dry. And I keep switching out my rags for new rags, and to try to get this as absolute clean as you can possibly make it. Then I'll wipe down the mating surface one last time with a rag that has the brake clean, parts cleaner on it. Also, before I bolt it back up, I clean off the bolts, the nuts and bolts, and make sure that they're oil free. And if there has a large amount of silicone built up on it, I'll remove the silicone from it. So now I'm going to put a thin layer of black silicone on the mating surface of the lower oil pan. I use the right stuff here at the shop. This stuff works amazing. I've been using it for years. I will link this up in the description of the video also. So you're going to put a thin, small bead all the way around the pan. I make like little circles around the bolt holes too. So you don't need a whole bunch of it, just a thin layer of it. If you get too much, you can just wipe some of it off. So just before we bolt it up, I like to go around the bolt holes. And if there's excessive amounts of silicone in these, I'll pick it out with a pick. On some of them that don't go through, like the ones I just showed you, if you have a lot of silicone in there, it'll compact. I've actually seen it crack the pans before. So I'm going to wipe down the mating surface one last time before I put the pan up with the silicone on it. And once I'm confident that it's nice and clean and dry, then I'll put the pan up. So I'll lift the pan up into position. You kind of have to angle it a little bit to get over the pickup tube there and get it in. And then you put it over the two studs on it. Once you got it over the two studs, you can starting the bolts. I like to start all of them by hand. I don't use any power tools to start the bolts, but once the bolts are all started, then I go over it with power tools and run it up. Now that I have the all the bolts started, I'll go ahead and run them up until they're snug with a little impact gun here. It's a little M12, a very low torque impact gun. And I'll run them all in until they're just touching. And then I also do this in a crisscross pattern, kind of working back and forth, left, right, to evenly pull the pan up onto the mating surface. Now that they're run in and snug, I'll switch over to a hand ratchet, and with an extension here, and I'll run them in until they're all the way tight, and then about a quarter turn more. So I'm just doing this by feel, and you'll work your way all the way around the pan until all the fasteners are tight and snugged up. Now you can clean up and wipe down everything, and after that's done, you can put the lower shields back up. I would also recommend that you go ahead and change out the oil filter now. So once you get the oil filter changed back out, you can go ahead and lift the shield back up into place and then go ahead and start the bolts and tighten them all down. Now we're ready to lower the vehicle back down and fill it up with oil. It normally takes 6.2 quarts of oil, but because we dropped the pan, it's going to take a few more ounces. So make sure you double check that oil level. So I will link up all the parts and tools that I use in this video in the description. That way, if you need to pick up any of those, you can find those links there. I'm Brian Eslick from How to Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, encourage you to subscribe, invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. Thank you again for watching.